India, a country with a rich cultural heritage and complex history, is emerging as one of the most influential powers of the 21st century. This story isn't just about economics or politics. It's about India's vast and varied journey across multiple dimensions. From economic growth, technological advancements, and military strength, to its rising influence in global governance, soft power, and cultural diplomacy. It's a story of immense progress, resilience, and vision. So, let's dive deep into the factors driving India's rise as a global power. India, since gaining independence in 1947, has been on a remarkable journey of transformation. Once a British colony, the country was left in economic disarray. Fast forward to today, and we're looking at a nation that is not only the world's largest democracy, but also one of the fastest-growing economies. India's rise is multifaceted. It's economic, technological, geopolitical, and cultural. India's ascent on the global stage isn't happening in isolation. It's a well-coordinated effort that integrates domestic ambitions with international responsibilities. And at the heart of this rise is a blend of ancient traditions and modern aspirations. Let's start by understanding India's economic transformation. For decades, India's economy was agrarian-based. But over the last few decades, India has shifted from being an agriculture-focused economy to an industrial and services powerhouse. Today, the country is the world's fifth largest economy by nominal GDP and third by purchasing power parity, PPP. This transition began with the 1991 economic reforms that opened India's markets to the world. It encouraged privatization and globalization, paving the way for industrial growth and foreign investments. But the real engine behind India's modern economy? It's the service sector, led by the IT industry. Companies like Infosys, Wipro, and Tata Consultancy Services have put India on the global map, making it a hub for software development and IT services. At the same time, India's Make in India initiative, launched in 2014, is aimed at revitalizing the country's manufacturing sector. The goal is to make India a global manufacturing hub, bringing jobs and investment into key sectors like electronics, automobiles, and defense production. However, despite its growth, India still faces challenges, especially when it comes to poverty and income inequality. These internal issues need to be addressed to ensure sustainable and inclusive growth. India's participation in global trade has grown significantly in recent years. Its strategic approach to international partnerships has been crucial to its rise. India has formed key trade relationships with the European Union, ASEAN nations, and the United States, among others. While it has stayed away from large trade agreements like the RCEP, it is active in global trade bodies like the WTO and G20. India's focus on foreign direct investment, FDI, has attracted global investors, particularly in technology, telecommunications, and e-commerce. Major international firms such as Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have established large operations in India, drawn by its growing consumer market and innovation potential. And India's global economic footprint extends to its participation in forums like BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, ensuring that its voice is heard in shaping the rules of global trade. No discussion about India's rise is complete without highlighting its technological advancements. India is now synonymous with technological prowess, particularly in the IT and software sectors. The country's booming IT industry is not only a key driver of its economy, but also a global leader in outsourcing services. India's tech cities, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune, are home to numerous startups and multinational tech companies, making the country the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. This explosion of innovation is fostered by government initiatives like Digital India, which aims to create a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. But what about space? India has made giant strides with its space agency, ISRO. The successful launch of the Mars Orbiter mission, affectionately known as Mangalyaan, and the Chandrayaan moon missions have cemented India's reputation as a cost-effective, capable player in space exploration. India is not just looking inward. It's leading globally in digital payments too, with innovations like the Unified Payments Interface, UPI, revolutionizing the way money is transferred, both domestically and internationally. Let's move on to India's geopolitical strategy. Traditionally, India followed a policy of non-alignment, staying neutral during the Cold War. But as global dynamics have shifted, so too has India's foreign policy. Today, India balances relationships with major powers like the United States, Russia, and Japan. India's strategic partnership with the US has strengthened, particularly in defense and security. The Quad Alliance, which includes India, the US, Japan, and Australia, is a testament to India's role in ensuring a free and open Indo-Pacific. India's long-standing defense ties with Russia remain critical, especially in military hardware and strategic technology. Meanwhile, relationships with the European Union and Japan focus on trade, infrastructure, and technology, further boosting India's standing in the international community. But India's influence extends beyond bilateral relationships. As a key player in multilateral forums such as BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, and the G20, India is shaping global agendas on trade, security, and climate change. India's rise as a global power also involves its growing military capabilities. India boasts one of the largest standing armies in the world, complemented by a modern air force and navy. The country's defense strategy is focused on modernization, bringing in advanced weapon systems, new generation fighter jets like the Rafale, and indigenous missile technologies. India is also a nuclear power, with a policy of no first use. Its nuclear capabilities are bolstered by a sophisticated missile defense system and a strategic deterrent against potential threats. India is not just importing defense equipment, it's becoming a key player in defense manufacturing. Through the Make in India initiative, the country aims to produce advanced military hardware domestically and become a significant exporter of defense technology. In addition, India has consistently contributed to United Nations peacekeeping missions, showcasing its commitment to global peace and stability. India's rise isn't just about hard power, military and economic influence. Its soft power is equally important in shaping its global image. Take Bollywood, for example. India's Hindi-language film industry is one of the largest in the world, producing thousands of films each year. Bollywood's global reach, particularly in countries with large Indian diasporas, has made it an ambassador of Indian culture. Through music, dance, and cinema, Bollywood plays a significant role in shaping how India is perceived around the world. And then there's yoga, one of India's most powerful cultural exports. Celebrated globally, yoga has transcended its ancient roots to become a worldwide phenomenon, with millions practicing it across continents. This has been further bolstered by India's declaration of International Yoga Day, which has been embraced by over 170 countries. India's diaspora also plays a crucial role in promoting Indian culture. With over 32 million Indians living abroad, the Indian diaspora contributes to global business, politics, and culture. Leaders like Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, demonstrate the influence of Indians abroad. India's journey as a global power is built on the foundation of education and scientific excellence. The country boasts some of the world's top educational institutions, including the Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs, and the Indian Institutes of Management, IIMs. These institutions produce world-class engineers, scientists, and business leaders who contribute not only to India's growth, but also to global innovation. India's scientific community is at the forefront of research in fields such as nanotechnology, biotechnology, and space science. Indian scientists and researchers are making significant contributions to global knowledge and innovation, further cementing India's role as a hub of intellectual talent. India's startup ecosystem is booming, with more than 70 unicorns, startups valued at over $1 billion. This reflects a vibrant culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, positioning India as a global leader in technology and innovation. India's youthful population is one of its most significant assets. With a median age of around 28, India has a demographic dividend that can fuel economic growth for decades. A young, dynamic workforce has the potential to drive innovation, increase productivity, and enhance global competitiveness. However, the real challenge lies in harnessing this potential. India's education and skill development programs, such as Skill India and the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, aim to equip its youth with the skills needed for a 21st century economy. Moreover, the Indian diaspora, particularly in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, plays an influential role in the global economy. Many Indian professionals are leading multinational corporations, shaping global industries, and contributing to the global labor market. India is increasingly taking a leadership role in global environmental issues. As one of the most affected countries by climate change, India has made ambitious commitments under the Paris Agreement, aiming to reduce carbon emissions and expand renewable energy. India is rapidly emerging as a global leader in renewable energy, particularly in solar power. The country's solar capacity has grown significantly, thanks to initiatives like the International Solar Alliance, ISA, co-founded by India and France. India's goal is to generate 500 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. However, environmental challenges remain. India still grapples with air pollution, water scarcity, and deforestation. Balancing industrial growth with environmental sustainability is a critical challenge that India will need to address to secure its long-term growth and global leadership. India's strength lies in its democratic framework. The world's largest democracy, India has a long history of holding free and fair elections, which allow its citizens to shape the country's future. India's governance reforms focus on transparency, reducing corruption, and improving the ease of doing business. Digital initiatives like Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric identification system, and Digital India have transformed governance and service delivery, bringing millions of citizens into the formal economy. Despite these reforms, challenges such as political polarization, regionalism, and corruption persist. India's ability to manage these issues while ensuring inclusive governance will be critical to its global leadership. India's development story is incomplete without understanding its social progress. The country has made significant strides in reducing poverty, improving healthcare, and expanding access to education. Government programs like Ayushman Bharat, which provides health coverage to over 500 million people, and Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which focuses on universal primary education, have been game changers. However, gender inequality and caste-based discrimination continue to pose challenges. Initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao aim to promote gender equality and empower women, while affirmative action policies help marginalized communities access education and job opportunities. India plays a critical role in the global health ecosystem. Known as the pharmacy of the world, India is a leading producer of generic drugs and vaccines. The Serum Institute of India, the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, was instrumental in supplying COVID-19 vaccines to countries worldwide, especially low-income nations. India's role in global health goes beyond pharmaceuticals. The country is a key contributor to global health research, particularly in the fight against diseases such as HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. India's leadership in global health is likely to grow in the coming years as the world faces new and emerging health challenges. India is increasingly asserting its role in global governance. India's long-standing bid for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, reflects its growing influence in global diplomacy. As a founding member of the BRICS group and a key player in the G20, India is shaping the global agenda on issues like trade, climate change, and economic reform. India's commitment to UN peacekeeping missions also underscores its leadership in promoting global peace and security. Indian troops have been deployed in numerous conflict zones, contributing to global stability. The COVID-19 pandemic presented unprecedented challenges for India, but it also revealed opportunities for growth and resilience. India's Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India initiative, launched during the pandemic, aims to boost domestic manufacturing, reduce dependence on imports, and enhance economic self-reliance. India's recovery from the pandemic has been driven by its growing digital economy, innovations in healthcare, and robust government stimulus programs. However, long-term recovery will depend on addressing challenges in infrastructure, healthcare, and social inclusivity. As we look to the future, India's rise as a global power seems inevitable. The country is poised to become the world's third-largest economy by 2030, and its influence in global governance, trade, and diplomacy will only grow. India's leadership in technology, renewable energy, healthcare, and global governance will be critical in shaping the future world order. As India balances its domestic challenges with its global ambitions, the country's vision of a new India, self-reliant, inclusive, and innovative, is within reach. India's rise as a global power is a story of resilience, innovation, and ambition. It's a country that has emerged from colonial rule to become a major player on the world stage, influencing everything from economics to culture, technology to diplomacy. India's journey is far from over. As it navigates the complexities of the 21st century, India's commitment to democracy, global cooperation, and sustainable development will continue to guide its path to global leadership. India's story isn't just about power, it's about vision. And that vision is one that promises a future where India's influence will be felt in every corner of the globe.